Good morning friends, good morning to all of you. In the last session we have discussed on the transportation problems. Now this is a session in which we are going to discuss on the measures of central tendency, which are the various measures of central tendency are. So we'll first start from understanding the 5 common measures that are being used in order to measure the data. Measures of central tendency is a type of measure that is used to describe the data in the measures of central tendency. Common measures of central tendency are 5. First is the mode, median, mean, percentiles and quartiles. Now we'll first discuss on what is a mode and how to compute mode for the group data and for the ungrouped data. We'll start from mode. We'll first understand the definition of mode, that is the most frequently occurring value in the data set. It is applicable to all the levels of data measurements. 4 levels of data measurements are there: nominal, ordinal, interval and ratio. Mode is one of the value which is most occurring in the data set, which is applied for both the types of data, whether the data is bimodal or multimodal. What is bimodal? First, the bimodal is the data sets that have 2 modes. If a data set is having more than 2 modes, it is termed to be a multimodal, and if it is having a 2 modes, it is a bimodal. Now we'll see how to calculate mode. Here one of the example has been given. The values were provided in the data set. Now the mode is termed to be or is defined as the value which is most occurring in the data set. Here we are having a data set which is having a more than 12 to 15 observations. Now the mode is going to be the value which is having a highest occurrence. So here the mode is going to be 44 because it is occurring more than 4 times. That is why it is going to be our mode. Now next is the median. First we have discussed about mode. Mode is the frequently occurring value in the data set. Now it is a median. Median is the middle value in the ordered array. You will have to first arrange the data in an ordered array, and the value which comes in the model of the data set, in the middle of the data set, is termed to be a median. Now we will understand the definition of what is median. Middle value in the ordered array of numbers. It is applicable for all the 3 types of data measurement, that is ordinal, interval and ratio skills, which is not applicable for nominal data, which is unaffectable by extremely large and extremely small values. A median is not having an impact by adding extreme values or any minimal values into the data sets. Now we'll understand what is the procedure or what are the steps that are going to be performed in order to calculate the median. First procedure, first step in calculating the median is arrange your data sets or arrange your observations into an ordered array, or you can say in ascending order. Second is, if there is an odd number of items in the data set, the median is going to be the middle term, and if it is even number of items are there in the observation or in the data set, the median is going to be the average of both the items which is there in the middle. So this is the first procedure. We'll revise. First step is to arrange your data set or observations into an ascending order or in an ordered array. Second is, if there is an odd number of items in the data set, then your median is the middle item of your data set. If there is an even number of items in the data set, then the median is going to be the middle 2 items in your data set. Second procedure for calculating median is, the median's position in an ordered array is given by n plus 1 divided by 2. You can again further obtain your median or value of median using the formula, that is n plus 1 divided by 2. N is the number of observations in the data set. Now we'll see how to calculate the median value. Here the ordered array has been given. There are 17 terms in a data set. So if we'll follow the first procedure, then first we'll have to arrange the whole series into an ascending order. We have already arranged all the data sets into an ascending order or in an ordered array. Now there are 17 terms in the ordered array. Position of the median can be found using n plus 1 divided by 2. So n is 17 plus 1 divided by 2. So we'll have the 9th term. Now we'll found which item is 9th in this array, and the item with the 9th term is going to be the value of median. So the median is the 9th term. If the 22 is replaced, now we'll understand the thing, that is, it is unaffected by extremely large and extremely small values. The value of median cannot be changed even though adding any extreme values or any small values into an array, because it is the middle value which is there in the order array. So if 22 here is replaced by 100, even though the value of median will remain same. If 3 is replaced, the first item is replaced by minus 103, the value of median will remain same. Now again there is one of the example. If there are 16 items, first we have seen an example of odd number of items. Now we'll see even number of items in an array. If there are 16 items in an array, then the position of median will be calculated using the formula, that is n plus 1 divided by 2. So here is the n 8.5 value of the median, 8.5th term. Now further we can calculate the value of median using the 8th item plus 9th item, and we're going to divide it by 2. That is 8th term and 9th term, that is going to be 14.5. That is the calculation, that is the summation of 14 plus 15 divided by 2. So we'll have the value, that is 14.5 is going to be our value of median. If 21 is replaced, here again if extremely large and extremely small values are going to be added into an array, though the value of median is not going to be changed. If 21 is replaced by 100, the value of median will remain same, that is 14.5. If 3 is replaced by minus 88, though the value of median is going to be the same, 14.5. Now next, that is arithmetic mean. There are 3 types of mean: arithmetic mean, geometric mean and harmonic mean. But in this session we are only going to learn about what is arithmetic mean. Simply, mean can be defined as an average of all the observation in the data set. It is commonly called the mean, is the average of group of numbers, or you can say the number of observation in an item or in a data set. Is applicable for internal and ratio data, which is not applicable for nominal and ordinal data, which is affected by each value in the data set including extreme value. In medium, all the values in data set or the value of median cannot be changed even though the extreme or small numbers are going to be added. If the same thing is going to be done in mean, it is affected by each value in the data set. It is computed simply by summing all the values in the data set and dividing the number of items in the data set. Simply we'll see the formula for calculating mean, that is sigma x mu is equals to sigma x divided by capital N. In the case of population mean, it is x bar is equals to sigma x divided by small l in the case of sample mean. Here is the example. We'll first going to calculate the population mean, that is sigma x divided by capital N, that is the number of summing all the items in the data set divided by the number of items or number of observations in the data set. So we'll have the mean. Now we'll follow the same procedure in the terms of sample mean. For calculating sample mean, that is summation of all the items in a data set divided by number of items in a data set will have a sample mean. Population mean can be denoted by mu, whereas sample mean can be denoted by x bar. Further, we'll define the fourth measures of central tendency, that is percentile. Percentile is one of the measures of central tendency that divide a group of data into 100 parts. The data has been divided into 100 parts when we are calculating the percentiles. At least n number of data lie below the nth percentile, and at most 100 minus n% of the data lie above the percentile. Here the example of percentile has been given, that is 90th percentile indicates that at least 90% of the data lie below it, and at most 10% of the data lie above it. If it is 50th percentile, then we can again say it 50% of the data lie below 50th percentile and 50% of data lie above 50th percentile. The median and 50th percentile have the same value, applicable for all the kind of ordinal, interval and ratio data, which is not applicable for the nominal data. Now we'll see how to calculate the percentile. First, you will have to organize the data into an ordered array, as we have done the same thing in the median for calculation of the median. Now calculate the percentile using the formula, that is I is equals to P divided by 100 into n will have the value of percentile. Determine the percentile's location and its value, as the same things we have performed in order to calculate the median. If it is a whole number, the percentile is average of the value of the I and I plus 1 position. If it is, for example, 10, then it is going to be 10 plus 1, and if it is not a whole number, say it is in the fractions 10.5, 10.25, then the percentile is going to be I plus 1 position in the ordered array. Now we'll see how to calculate the percentile. We are having the row data 14, 12, 19, 23, 5, 13, 28 and 17. First step in order to calculate percentile is to arrange the data into an ascending order. So we'll first arrange the data 5, 12, 13, 14, 17, 19, 23 and 28. Now the question is to find out the 30th percentile in the data set. So the formula is going to be I is equals to P divided by 100 into n. P is equals to the location of percentile, that is 30, divided by 100 into n. N is going to be the number of observation. We are having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8 number of observations into a data set. So we'll be having a 30th percentile is equals to 2.5. Now it is not a whole number, so we'll calculate it by adding plus 1 into the location of the 30th percentile, that is 2.4 plus 1, that is 3.4. Now the whole number portion is 3 and the 30th percentile is at the third location of the array. So at the third location we are having the value, that is 13. So our value or location of percentile is going to be 30. Now next is quartiles. As percentile has divided the whole data set or the whole data into 100 parts, whereas the quartiles divide the whole data or group of data into 4 groups, into 4 subgroups. Now we'll see Q1, Q2 and Q3 definition of these 3 quartiles, that is Q1 is equals to 25% of the data set is below the first quartile. In Q2, 50% of the data set is below the second quartile, and Q3 is equals to 75% of the data set is below the quartile number 2. Now Q1 is equals to 25th percentile, Q2 is located at the place of median as well as 50th percentile, Q3 is equals to 75th percentile and all the values are not necessarily the member of data set. So you can understand the value of all the three quartiles and the position of all the three quartiles in the data set. It is equals to the value of percentile in some cases. Now we'll see how to calculate the quartiles. That is, here are the three quartiles have been shown, and the position of the three quartiles has been shown in the diagram. Now the calculation of quartile. Here also we'll first have to arrange the data into an ordered array. We'll first arrange the data. We'll calculate the value of quartile 1, quartile 2 and quartile 3 using the same formula, that is q divided by 100 into n, q divided by 100 into n in the all cases. Now we'll be having a question, that is find 25th quartile, 50th quartile and 75th quartile. So we'll divide 25, location of quartile is 25th, divided by 100 into n number of observation or number of observation into a data set. So we'll be having a value that is 2. Because it is a whole number, we'll take the number second plus third into an array, that is 109 plus 114. We'll divide this two items by 2 and we'll be having a value that is 115. Now we'll calculate the value of second quartile, that is 50th quartile. 50 divided by 100 into number of observation. We are having n number of 8 number of observation into an array, so we'll be having a value of 185 and similar. Now the next topic for the discussion is calculating the measures of central tendency for group data. Now we'll understand how to calculate mean, median and mode for all the three measures of central tendency for group data. If you are having a group data, then what are going to be the calculations? Now see, first mean for the group data can be calculated using the formula, that is mu is equals to sigma f into m divided by sigma f. Now sigma f is the frequency, m is the midpoint, and again sigma f is the total number of frequencies into a data set. Now again f1 into m1, this can be obtained using calculating by multiplying this frequency and modal class. Will be having these values. Now we'll see one of the example of calculating the group mean, mean for the group data. You can say will be having a group data, that is class interval 20 under 30, 30 under 40, 40 under 50, 50 under 60, 60 under 70, 70 under 80. We'll be having a frequency 6, 18, 11, 11, 3, 1, which is equals to 50. This is going to be our sigma f. Now we'll find out class midpoint. Class midpoint is 25, 35, 45, 55, 65 and 75. This can be obtained using the class interval, that is 20 plus 30 divided by 2. Will be having the value, this is 25. Now we'll simply multiplying both the values of frequency and class midpoint. Will be having a sigma f and m. 25 into 6, 150, 18 into 35 will be having the value 630, 11 into 45, 495, 11 into 55, 605 and so on. Now this is our sigma fm and this is our sigma f. So simply by dividing both the values, we'll be having a value of mu for the group data. Now median for the group data can be obtained using the formula, that is L plus capital N divided by 2 minus CF divided by frequency for the midpoint into W. Now we'll understand what is L. L is equals to the lower limit of median class. CFP is the cumulative frequency for the class preceding the median class, whereas F is equals to frequency for the median class. W is the width, or you can say class interval for the median class, n is equals to total number of frequencies. Now we'll see how to calculate the median for the group data. Now we'll be having the same values as we have seen for the mean. Here are the class intervals, frequencies. We'll first go for finding the cumulative frequencies. Cumulative frequencies can be found by adding the frequencies of the next class interval, next frequency, that is 6 plus 18, 24, 24 plus 11, 35, 35 plus 11, 46, 46 plus 3, we'll be having 49, 49 plus 1, 50. So total n is equals to 50, that is our sigma f or frequency for the median class. Now we'll calculate the value for median of group data. So again the formula for calculating median for group data is L plus n divided by 2 minus cumulative frequency preceding the class interval divided by frequency of the median class divided by width of the class interval. Now here we will be having a value of 35, which is having a frequency 11. 50 divided by 2 is our n number of observations, that is n is equals to 50 divided by 2 minus cumulative frequency for the preceding class, that is 24, this is the model class. 35 preceding the frequency of preceding class will be taken, that is 24 divided by 11, the frequency of the model class, that is 11, into class width. Class width is 20 to 30. Our class intervals has been given as 20 to 30, 30 to 40. So the width of the class interval is going to be 10 in each cases. So we'll be having the value of median for the group data. Now mode for the group data can be calculated using the same for example, that is mode for the group data can be found using midpoint of the model class, and model class which is having the highest frequency is going to be the mode. Now we'll see in this frequency the greatest frequency is having the model class 30 and under 40. So this is going to be our model class, that is mode 30 plus 40 divided by 2. So we'll be having the value of mode for group data, that is equals to 35. Thank you.